You're not paying for paint, you're paying for skill. And once you see what goes into this tank and fender, you'll know exactly why. Hey everybody, it's Pacman from Drunk Monkey Garage. Welcome back to our custom paint job pricing series. In this series, we are trying to figure out what it takes to price a custom paint job by doing a custom paint job on a 2018 Harley-Davidson Street Glide. While we're doing that, we are keeping track of all the hours we spend working on it and all the materials that go into it. In this video, we're going to discuss how skill level affects pricing while we work on the front fender and the gas tank of the Street Glide. As a beginner, you may think that all you need to do is a quick scuff, and that's all the prep work you need. But as you get more skilled and get closer to the professional level, you start to realize that prep can make or break your paint job. Every scratch, low spot, or flaw is going to show through the candy or the crystal pattern if we don't handle it now. This is where experienced painters take their time to get the surface perfect. These pieces act like mirrors. Any dent, ripple, or scratch is going to show up even more when you add metallics, candies, or crystal effects. Not even the most seasoned painter can spray over bad bodywork and expect perfection. If the foundation isn't right, the paint won't be either. So even though I'm not doing any body work on these particular pieces, it's very important to know how much it matters. Perfect paint starts with perfect surfaces. Next up is the layout. Taping scallops or graphics isn't just about throwing tape on the part. It's about flow, symmetry, and matching the natural curves of the bike. Beginner may be able to tape off a simple pattern or even pull off a decent flame job, but it takes a real artistic skill to take a customer's idea and bring it to life in a way that enhances the bike, not just sits on top of it. Matching both sides of the tank to within a millimeter isn't luck. It takes skill, years of repetition, and a trained eye. So we've got our pattern taped off and we are getting ready to spray down our silver base layer for the scallops. Using the spray gun is another thing that takes a lot of skill. Beginners can spray paint, but they may get blotchiness and striping in metallic finishes and stuff like that. So it takes a while to develop your skill and a lot of practice to hone that spraying technique. The skill of knowing what angle, distance, and overlap to use while spraying paint only comes with practice. So now we're going to go in there, lay down our silver base coat for the scallops. Curved fender exposes everything, so angle, distance, and overlap are key. Metallics especially will stripe or blotch if your technique isn't dialed in. Now it's time to mix up the flake that will make up the main part of the crystal pattern. I used a mix of iridescent and silver 0.004 millimeter flake from Limeline. So now we're getting ready to lay down our metal flake. We have a mixture of iridescent, rainbow, and silver, just like on the fairing. And today I get to use a new gun from American Dream. Well, it's a new pattern. It is their crystal patterned Flake Beast. So I just got this right after I got done doing the fairing. So I'm excited to use this and see how it works. So let's get to it. Well, I'll tell you what, I am really impressed with the Flake Beast from American Dream Custom Paints. This thing laid that flake out like nothing else. I absolutely love it. It's easy to clean. It's reasonably priced. And if you're looking for a good flake gun, I'd highly suggest this one. It came with a 2.5 tip. I ordered a 1.4 tip for it also, just for the smaller flake, like I'm using now. But it does come with a 2.5 tip for the larger flake, and it's an excellent product. All right, now we're ready to lay down some clear. I'm going to use the regular Beast from American Dream Custom Paints to lay down this clear. let these dry overnight, and then tomorrow we'll get to the monkey juice and create some really cool crystal patterns on these. So now we get into specialty effects like pearls, flakes, candies, and our signature crystal pattern. This is where technique jumps to craftsmanship. So we start with our metal flake base, then we wipe on the crystal solution. As the solution dries, it blooms into a natural, real crystal pattern. This effect isn't taped or a stencil. It's a chemical reaction that creates a mask to create a very unique crystal pattern. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, things don't go quite as we planned. So you have to sand it back and start over. So this is where skill and experience is going to come in. Humidity, temperature, and all kinds of factors come into play when you're doing the crystal solution. Just doing it over and over in different conditions is going to give you an idea of the type of crystal pattern you're going to get. Here I'm spraying 2 to 3 light coats of over-reduced base black to bring out the crystals. Technique is important here because if you spray too heavy, you're going to dissolve the crystal structure. If you spray too light, you're not going to get enough contrast to make the crystals pop. All right, so now we're going to spray our candy green over the fender and the tank, which we have the crystal pattern all laid out on. So let's get to it. So that's the first coat of the candy green over the crystal on the fender. We're gonna do about 2 more coats on that, and then we're gonna do some shading with an airbrush, and then we're gonna untape it and give it a nice coat of clear. So why does skill level affect the pricing? Because a skilled painter can deliver speed, accuracy, and results that beginners can't. You're paying for the experience, judgment, consistency, and specialized techniques such as the crystal effects. These things take years, if not decades, to develop. So while materials certainly play a part in the cost of a paint job, it's actually the skill and experience of the painter that you're paying for. As a customer, you may see material costs and say, how can this be so expensive? Well, this gives you a little bit of insight. As a painter, this will help you adjust your pricing according to your skill level. If you're just starting out, you're not going to want to charge top dollar because nobody's going to pay for your lack of experience and stuff like that. As an established, experienced painter, you can charge more for your paint jobs because people trust it. We still have to put clear on these parts, but let me give you a breakdown of where we're at so far as hours and materials into this project. The hours for this section of the project, which was the tank and the fender, was 18.5 hours. That equates to $1,478.67. The materials we used on this was about double of what we did on the fairing. That came up to $101.82. That gives us a grand total of hours and materials into this project so far of $3,584.74. So as you can see, the hours really add up when you're doing a custom paint job. I left out the hours I spent redoing the crystal on the tank and the fender because that was my fault and it's my project, so I wasn't worried about recording those hours. But in a real world situation, you may have something like that happen and you have to account for that. You have to either figure out if you're going to eat the cost or pass part of that cost on to the customer. And your skill level is going to determine how quickly you can recover from a mistake. Customers want to pay for a fantastic final product, not you fixing your mistakes. That wraps this episode up. Next episode, we're going to look into how local demand affects pricing and alternative markets while working on the bags and lids. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications of future videos. And leave us a comment to share your thoughts on custom paint pricing. And as always, until next time, cheers.